Find out more. The Lake District is one of the most spectacular and celebrated parts of Britain. Its rippling lakes and majestic mountains have drawn a stream of visitors here for almost 2 centuries. I get so excited about visiting the Lake District. It doesn't even matter about the weather. Just because of the sheer scale and beauty of this place, it never fails to impress. But even for those who've never actually been here, it feels familiar thanks to the many films and TV shows set in its magnificent scenery. They've taken me to the stunning location of the Miss Potter movie. Today, I'm about to visit somewhere very special indeed. Can you see just down there in a valley on its own? It's a beautiful place, very close to Coniston Water. Of all the gorgeous properties there are in the Lake District, the movie makers chose this one, not least because it's a house that Beatrix Potter actually owned. Yew Tree Farm is a Grade 2 listed building set amongst 600 acres of stunning lake scenery. It's currently home to 300 sheep, a herd of unusually fluffy cows, a number of pigs, dogs and ducks, and of course, Caroline and John and their children, Iona and Archie.
It's a fantastic lifestyle. Our children get to grow up in this wonderful environment. I get to follow the things that I've always been passionate about, which is farming and food.
To be out on the fells, it's absolutely fantastic. The views, it's unbelievable. That's what I love.
The Watsons moved here 7 years ago, and as well as playing host to Hollywood, their home is a B&B, and I'm lucky enough to be staying here as a guest. It's a hard life, isn't it? Oh, just look at that home. Oh my gosh, it's picture postcard perfect. Hello.
You must be Melissa.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Caroline. Yeah,
pleased to meet you.
John, hello.
John, hello. And this is little one.
This is Archie, who's asleep.
Bless him. The setting for the Watsons' home is so spectacular. It proved a dream location for them.
2 days, but setting it all up and getting the place looking right lasted about 4
4 or 5
weeks, wasn't it? Yeah, and then of course Kate. No.
What did they do then?
They had this vision of a dry stone wall, and we really liked the idea. We wanted a wall, but they were going to build it out of paper mache, but I'm afraid I put my foot down a bit and said, no, I want a real wall, and this is the result.
I noticed that the garden as it is now is very different to how it looks. What do they do?
Oh, it's absolutely different. Where we're stood now, there was 45 tonnes of topsoil plonked here, and they had to make a vegetable garden out of it. And they did that by, well, to be honest, they cheated. They got vegetables from supermarkets and from wholesalers, and the carrots were just the tops of carrots, and they were plonked in. But it looked very good. It was really effective.
Now, I want some dirt on Renee Zellweger. I'm 5'10", and I understand. Is it true she's about this high?
It did seem to be that height, yeah.
And this
She's
slim?
tiny, yeah.
Where would she sit? Would she sit in the main house?
She did actually come through and have a little nosy, didn't she, through the day, which I was horrified about because everything was a mess. But no, they had Winnebagos set up round the corner.
How do you both feel then about living in such a special home? We've had Hollywood here.
Yeah, I mean,
Beatrix Potter.
it is fascinating. There seems to be a lot happens here. It is one of those places where it does have a special feel about it.
So stay with us, because after the break I'll be taking a look inside the magical Yew Tree Farm. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. To the beautiful Lake District. Before the break, I met Caroline and John Watson, owners of Yew Tree Farm in Coniston. The house once belonged to Beatrix Potter and was recently used in the Hollywood movie of her life. The 300-year-old property naturally divides into 2 parts. The B&B is at the front of the house. Here guests can choose from 3 traditionally styled rooms and sit down to breakfast at a table where Beatrix Potter may have actually written one of her children's classics. While the family live in a set of rooms at the back with spectacular views of the fells, and at the heart of it all is a traditional lakes kitchen. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. It's like stepping back in time. Oh no, that's the best bit, cakes. Delicious and baked by Caroline herself. Goodness me, this really is an exceptional place. You can almost feel the history seeping out through these 250-year-old wood panels. I wanted Caroline to tell me more about this historic house that dates back to the time of William III. You've got a massive amount of original features in here.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Is that the original part of the building?
Yes, it is. This is the old part of the house, which is 1690 when it was built, and this is the original cruck frame, which was the old style of building these houses. And it's one piece of wood all the way from the top to the bottom of the house, and as you can see, massive pieces of wood.
Even the original farmhouse doors still hang in the house. Today the property is owned by the National Trust. The Watsons rent it off them and work with them to preserve its history. Caroline, how have you managed to keep this place authentic then?
Well, we had to work quite hard to make it look authentic, which sounds a bit ironic, but a lot of the fixtures and fittings of the house were there was white radiators and white switches and bad lighting in the house when we came to it. We replaced all the radiators with these lovely cast iron radiators, and we have taken the lighting out and made it softer.
All your bedrooms benefit from these stunning views.
Yeah, it is absolutely fabulous, isn't it? We're very lucky that most of the windows do look out onto our wonderful Lake District landscape.
Oh, Caroline, this is not what I imagined. It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Not very 17th century, is it?
No, that's right. Well, obviously, there's nothing really that would be appropriate in terms of bathrooms anyway, so we decided to go with it a little bit. And we've used local slate, which is from the mountain, you can see out the window, and it's underfloor heated. Old-fashioned sort of, fixtures and fitting, but in the chrome. It's lovely, isn't it?
Very, very glamorous. How many people can you get in that bath?
I've had the whole family in.
Yeah. The Watsons part of the property at the other end of the farmhouse is more modern, with the decor in keeping with the needs of a young family. While guests can relax in a living room styled in the muted colours and dark wood furniture favoured by Beatrix Potter herself.
This is the room that most illustrates how Beatrix Potter was connected with the farm.
Oh, yeah?
In the 1930s, she bought the farm to basically protect it, as it was for sale and it was going to be bought by developers. And at the time, farming was going through quite a bad period and the tenants couldn't pay their rent. And she offered the chance to tenants of providing them with furniture so they could open a tea room.
So all this is authentic Beatrix Potter furniture?
That's right, yeah. The tables, the ornaments, candlesticks, everything in here. She brought in, and the tenants then were able to set up a tea room. And it was the beginning of diversification in this area, really. She did bring in curios as well. So over here you can see letters signed by Wordsworth, John Ruskin, which is incredible, really. And she was very aware of her own fame, and that's why it was interesting for visitors to come and see what belonged to her.
There's a terrific sense of history being brought back to life here. But I wanted to know in what way living here today was a dream come true for John and Caroline and their young family. You live in a beautiful home in a beautiful part of the world. Have you always wanted to live somewhere like this?
I've always loved the countryside, and obviously the Lake District's always been special to me, and it is just so stunning. You couldn't not love it, really, could you?
So when you initially arrived down the driveway, viewed the property, did you both think, yep, this is going to be my family home?
We were astounding. It looked absolutely stunning, and it was a lovely day, and there was this backdrop of the fells. We were amazed by it.
I didn't like to think that we would ever stand a chance of living in a place like this, but yeah, reality is a marvellous thing.
It's easy for someone like me to come from a city to this beautiful environment and look at it through rose-tinted glasses and think, you are living the dream. Are you really?
I think in some ways we definitely are. It's a fantastic lifestyle. We get to, our children get to grow up in this wonderful environment. I get to follow the things that I've always been passionate about, which is farming and food and cooking and all that sort of farmhousey lifestyle.
That's it, roll your sleeves up.
But the reality can be quite hard at times. It's long hours, hard work, virtually no money. And, sometimes it's a struggle, but generally speaking, we are very lucky.
My life, obviously, is centred around Caroline and the kids, and it's great to have them here with me in my workplace. Is that Charlie or Lola?
Hello?
My work takes me away from the house, and to be out on the fells on a clear, frosty morning, it's absolutely fantastic. The views, oh, it's unbelievable. That's what I love.
The amazing history of this beautiful old house and its brush with Hollywood glamour made this a very special place to live. Feels very magical here. From the dark wood interiors to the luxurious bathrooms and the furniture owned by Beatrix Potter herself, being at Yew Tree Farm is a wonderful experience. And its spectacular location makes this a perfect place in which to live the dream.